Hi, gang. It's your old pal, Anthony and Steve from Reviewing History.
Hello, everyone.
I would just like to say, before you hear this upcoming episode, some of our Italian-American listeners may be slightly offended by some of the language used in the upcoming proceedings.
I will translate that into Italian. Listen, you guinea fucks, do not get angry when we say the word wop.
You may hear wop, dago, guinea, things like that. Get over it. It's not a big deal.
Nope. Listen, Italians don't face racism. We don't face racism. We don't deal with it as a people. We don't care.
Much like New Jersey, we're stronger than the storm.
Stronger than the storm.
I'm not Italian. I have no say in this. But would you say that it's your word so you could say it?
Yeah.
It's our word.
It's our word.
We're both Italian, realistically. Yeah, I don't.
Anyway, if you got a problem, we'll break your fucking legs.
Yeah, don't fucking speak to us.
Enjoy the episode.
But yeah, we love everybody.
All right, God, that's good for the PSA. Could you stop it? Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by
Aunt G.
And
As always, Stephen Dagliacco.
hey, how's everyone doing?
Swell.
Doing great.
I've been sick recently.
Why?
We went to your bachelor party, which was crazy wild time. Live sex shows, debauchery, ravens, raves, crazy sick shit, rats,
Cocaine?
coke.
I don't remember any of this, and I was there.
I may be extremely exaggerating.
There were rats.
There were rats.
That was the closest thing you had.
I have been so sick since that bachelor party.
Yeah, you almost died.
Do you want to explain what happened, Steve?
Sure. We rented an Airbnb, and we found a dead mouse in a trap in a kitchen.
It's a rat. Once it's inside, it's a rat.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's outside of rats, inside a mouse.
No, inside are
They're
mice.
legit guys. You know they're two different species, right?
Yeah, but it was small. It was a mouse. It was small.
Once you cross into my space,
It's a rat.
rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know your species
yes,
rules.
yes.
So you mean like socially?
Yes.
It's a rat.
Yeah.
For all social intensive purposes,
Right.
there were rats in our place,
Yes.
and it was disgusting.
You think the rats made you ill?
Yes.
Dude, I had COVID like in December, almost a year ago now. This was worse than COVID. I was fucking sick, man.
What's wrong with you?
Could not stop coughing. Fever. Had 106-degree fever at one point.
We heard that you were feeling ill, headache, fever, and chill. What movie is it from?
Oh, I thought it was Seinfeld. We wish you to get well.
Oh,
I have no idea what that is.
you guys don't know?
That's familiar. Is it Osmosis Jones?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That was a great guess.
Okay.
Good guess.
Yeah.
106 fever is dangerous. That you could have died.
Yeah, you could have had like some of those like permanent brain problems.
He
It's
probably
possible
did.
I did.
He probably did. Look at him. Does he look like a regular person to you now?
I mean, look at his hair.
He looks
I took my
disheveled.
hat off. Oh, no. My secret shame of my
Look at him.
giant Jufro. There's a reason I wear a hat.
You can take the hat off. We're
No,
joking.
it's okay.
What disease can you get from just a dead rat?
Hantavirus.
What's
Dude,
that?
There's like 6 or 7 different diseases that we should all get tested for now.
Yeah, they're like, it's extremely deadly to be around like mice
Yeah.
and shit like
You know,
that.
you ever hear of the bubonic plague?
That actually started from gerbils.
What?
I'm dead
Really?
serious.
No,
Yeah.
it started
Gerbils.
from
I swear to God, no bullshit. It was not rats and mice. It was actually gerbils and hamsters
wasn't
that
it-
carried the
it was
fleas.
Fleas.
Yeah, but there was the fleas on
Fleas
gerbils and
attached-
hamsters specifically,
attached
not
to
rats and
rodents.
mice.
Where are you getting this from?
Yeah.
I swear to God,
Was
I'll
it the
pull it up.
interwebs? Wasn't it fleas that attached to rodents and then the fleas bit people and that transferred the disease?
You're thinking of. You're not thinking. You're mixing up the bubonic plague with Richard Gere-itis.
That's
As Brian Googles furiously.
that's spread through Hollywood rapidly.
Yes, that was a joke from 1987. Wow.
Gerbils likely pushed plague to Europe in the Middle Ages.
What?
That's
Yeah.
just a Google search. What website is that from? Is
Study now claims that gerbils.
Not the rats.
Yeah, I'm serious.
that npr.org?
Yeah, but they're citing the study, which I'm not going to look up the whole study, but
This is the first I'm hearing.
University of Oslo looked it up.
The Swedes?
Yeah, basically, what the theory
Oh,
is
wait,
is
no. Is Oslo's
Norway.
Yeah.
the theory is that the rat story doesn't add up because if rats carried the plague to Europe and Europe still has a shitload of rats, then the plague should still be found, but it isn't.
Yeah, but
And they discovered that it's fleas from dead gerbils that jumped on animal and human traders who brought it to European cities.
But according to you, they're all rats.
where did gerbils come from?
Rats.
Gerbils come from rats?
According to Brian.
Gerbils
It's like
come,
Pokemon. They evolve.
yeah, gerbils come from Central Asia.
Really?
Yeah,
Always the Asian.
You know about like the Mongols and
I
this
think they were Asian.
it's an Asian gang or something. The Mongols famously catapulted plague-infected dead bodies over the walls of, I believe it was, I think it was Kaffa in Crimea. And that is where, during that siege, the plague really found its first foothold in Europe.
And that was where Steven Seagal was the chef on the submarine
he was under siege.
under siege, and he rose up and fought back.
Right. Anywho.
Real quick though, the test results of this gerbil thing, the results are in an issue of Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and there's the full study with the data there.
I'd like to hear about this.
I
Yeah.
think there's
I'll do that on my own time.
I
Yeah.
think there's some inconsistencies here.
Oh?
Yes, because nobody else got really sick besides Brian. Now, you
Are you
could
blowing
argue,
a gerbil?
You could argue that Brian has been doing some gerbil play.
So I'll tell you the truth. Do you know the scene in Road Trip where Tom Green takes the mouse and he's putting it in his tongue?
Yeah.
I was doing that with the dead mice.
Fair. How
time
could you
for the
resist?
feeding.
Yes, Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch was the snake.
Didn't you have a snake, Mitch?
Yeah, I had a ball python named Mitch. After the movie,
What happened to him?
he froze to death because the light bulb broke while we were away on vacation. AKA, I think my parents killed him on purpose and then told me "Oh, light bulb broke."
I saw a video, kind of went viral in the last week or two, of a python strangling a dog, and then some kids come and save the dog. They beat the shit out of the python and unwrap it.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a great video.
Heroes.
Was someone saying pig in the water, pig in the water?
It was a foreign country somewhere. I don't
Okay.
know.
It wasn't like a fake Nathan for You.
No,
thing?
it wasn't Nathan for you. Is that from the rehearsal?
No, in Nathan for You, like the first episode or second episode, is him faking a viral video of a pig being rescued by a goat being rescued by a pig in the water, and he made a fake viral video, and it became a thing.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
That one's great. I binged Nathan for You this past week.
Nathan Rule. You finished it?
It's fucking phenomenal.
How much do you love the blue smoke detector?
Hysterical. My favorite thing is Some and Ice. One of the funniest things
Summer
I've
Ice
ever
is
seen in
great.
my life.
Yes.
I was legit crying. I woke my wife up. She was sleeping next to me. I was laughing so hard I was bawling. And I woke her up.
He's a genius.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Nathan for You, definitely watch that. The rehearsal's really good. Have you seen it?
I saw the first episode.
What'd you think?
Fantastic.
It gets better. The last episode blew my fucking
That's
mind.
what everybody's saying. Is that this last one was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
He said it was my friend said it was Finding Francis level.
Yeah.
You've seen Finding Francis?
Yeah, well, I finished Nathan for You. That's the last episode.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
something else, isn't it?
It's insane.
If you haven't seen Nathan for You, folks, go for it.
Yeah, and you probably hated this last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
I did.
Anyway, so Pittsburgh was fun. What did you think about Pittsburgh as a city, other than our rat problem?
Ooh, let's talk about Pittsburgh. Sure. Well, my take on it is this. Going back a few years ago, I'd say probably 2019, it was widely discussed in certain circles that Pittsburgh is one of the finest cities to live in America. It's up and coming, a lot of new money coming in and building the place up. The
hipsters, yeah.
hipsters changing everything.
So I used to go quite a bit before the pandemic.
Right.
And they would buy these old factories and turn them into awesome restaurants and stuff.
Right.
You were a very much huge part of us going
The
there
reason we
was
went
you.
there, well, obviously it was my bachelor party, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had never been to Pittsburgh, and Brian spoke so highly about it that we decided that's where we're going to have my my bachelor party. But I think since the COVID pandemic, I think a lot of those people making Pittsburgh
I think that's
great,
a lot of cities in general.
yes,
too.
probably went back to where they came from. Because Pittsburgh, while parts of it are stunningly beautiful, other parts are a level of urban decay. As a New Yorker, I'm really not familiar with seeing, just abandoned buildings everywhere and all kinds of fucking just downtrodden folks,
Good food though, right? Like
I had a great time.
good vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, the place was great. I had so much fun.
The weirdest thing to ever happen to me, though, other than the rats, happened in the middle of Pittsburgh. Something I never thought I'd be in unless I was in Abu Dhabi,
You mean the dust storm?
the dust storm.
Oh yeah.
So we were leaving like this store with like a bunch of CDs and stuff, and out of nowhere, a literal like dust cloud flew into the middle of the street and like attacked us.
It came towards us like from a block away.
You could not see or walk in it, right?
No.
I was still inside when it started, and I walked out, and you guys were all running back inside. And I was like, "What's happening?" And I just see like what looked like a tornado coming down the street. It's very, Dorothy in Kansas.
And we were the only people bothered by it.
Yeah, everybody else was just like, "Yeah, this is normal. We'd never experienced that before." But then we went out and walked in it, and it wasn't that big a deal.
My eyes were bothering me the rest of the day because I have contacts. That was a rough day.
That's probably a pain in the ass. But
Other than that, fun trip.
yeah,
right?
we had a good time.
Other than my
definitely
illness, which is the reason we're recording this a little later than I would have liked. I've been out of commission for a bit.
Yeah, whatever. The fans will never know.
No, because we've come out in time. Fans. What fans?
Those two guys.
Two people that
The two
listen.
guys that engage with us on the internet.
Thanks for listening. One of two guys. But the movie we're doing today,
This is a fan request.
someone did request this. A TSD
Oh, yeah.
listener did request that we do the Untouchables. So if you are one of the two guys still listening and you are a TSD listener, get ready because
This
we're
one's
doing
for you.
the Untouchables. So have you guys seen this before?
Yes.
I have seen this dozens of times.
Multiple times.
I love this movie.
I've
since
seen
I
this
was a kid.
multiple times.
I think a lot of people, if you are a movie person, you've probably seen this more than a few.
So I'll say this about the movie. I think it's a bit of false advertising.
It's not accurate.
Well, no. As a kid, like I remember before I ever saw the movie, I would see the VHS, and I legit thought it was like about Gandhi and like the caste system. In my
What?
head, the Untouchables was about like the Indian caste system and about the Untouchables who
All
are
right.
at the bottom of the caste system in India.
I'm gonna say that's not false advertisement, Brian. That's you being a dumbass.
Why are they not called the Untouchables?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you think this?
Because the VHS was like taped off a TV and it was just written The Untouchables.
So you literally just mean in your house,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
VHS copy.
I
just-
had never seen the movie though. So am I until I, I think I watched it with you for the first time.
Oh, yeah?
And you were like, let's watch The Untouchables.
Yeah, it was always one of my
And
favorites.
I was like, I didn't know it was like gangster stuff. I thought like we were watching like a Gandhi movie.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this as I was watching the movie. I think kind of the uniquely American genres, it's really westerns and gangster movies, right?
Oh, interesting.
Would you agree with that assessment?
Well, that is an interesting thing. So, because they've made crime and gangster movies in other countries.
But are they just imitations of American gangster movies?
Well, that's the thing we need to ask ourselves, right? I mean, if you want to say because at the time when crime movies were really, really like booming,
You mean the 30s?
the 30s, yeah, like a lot of the world is like fucked up and like not making movies. You know, like it's. I mean, movies are in general like an American art form. Like it's the American art form.
Can we really lay claim to that?
Yes.
What about the French? What about the Japanese? I
No,
mean,
other countries have obviously done the art form, but it's like
They didn't perfect it.
we
made it into a
made
larger
it
than life
into
thing.
our thing. It's still to this day
It's
our number one export.
export. Number one.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
But I think the quintessentially like American, it's the Western and the gangster.
Well, I think especially the gangster movie, the best ones always have something to say about the American dream, right?
Yes.
It's the inversion of the American dream and success.
That's a great way of putting it, yeah.
And this movie in particular, they use juxtaposition a lot, which we'll talk about in the movie, to show the hardworking blue-collar man against the rich, affluent gangster.
Right.
But I think the main reason why America took so well to those kind of gangster movies is the gangster culture itself in America was very much unique.
It seems like obviously none of us were there in the 20s, but it seemed to have been all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like the
Up until
age
the
of
80s.
Prohibition is so just married. You have a decade and a half of the culture being married to organized crime, and then beyond that, now you have extremely powerful people that some would argue are more powerful than elected officials, are more powerful than corporations, and these are criminals.
At this
You
point, yes.
you also have like a new immigrant class
That's coming of age.
that's coming of age, and it's a thing that happens throughout America when you look at like even gangs in New York and shit like that.
Sure.
When new immigrant groups get to a certain age, they form gangs. That's what the first Scarface is about. That's what the second Scarface is about. If they do the third one, I'm sure that's what it's going to be about, because that's just kind of what happens. It's like you have some immigrants that, are hardworking people that do what they have to do, and they climb up and they, form businesses or whatever, and they work and they give their kids better lives. And then you have the flip side of that, which are the ones who go into crime and organized crime.
There's always two sides to every group.
And they use that to boost themselves up.
And it just so happens that the Italians of this particular era really became just such a massive force of criminality.
And we,
Yeah.
and we
alongside, the legitimate people.
Yeah, and we see that too in this movie. The working class Italian guy who joins them, played by Andy Garcia,
Right.
who, as a Hispanic guy, I don't know how this guy has just been playing Italians
He's in Godfather 3.
for like 40 years.
They're not too much different.
It's just so funny to me. It's like he's Andy Garcia, and like you kind of think he's Italian,
Right.
but like he's the flip side of the Italian gangsters.
What was it before you changed it?
Yeah,
So, we're talking about the Untouchables.
yeah,
Al Capone story.
yep.
FBI agents. I think we need to discuss why everyone's here.
Prohibition.
Prohibition.
So I did want to get into this because I was thinking about it during the time.
During the time.
During the time I was watching the movie, or in a little after, I was trying to chew on it. How did Prohibition? Because booze is Johnny Appleseed shit. It's a part of the American DNA and the American experience. How did it get to a point?
The seeds of Prohibition were being planted way before the 1920s.
What started the temperance movement? Because
What
Ulysses S.
started-
Grant was a guy who
Yeah.
was an alcoholic, and he had to go to temperance meetings and shit.
Yeah, so booze is very much a part of American life, especially in the early days where you had things like bad water and you could only drink
Beer.
alcohol,
Yeah.
because
Rye.
the water was unsafe.
Yeah, right.
I know Alexis de Tocqueville, who is a French historian and journalist who spent a lot of time
Token up.
in the United States during the 1850s and 60s. He wrote about how Americans drink massively more than their French counterparts. He would say things like Americans have whiskey when they wake up in the morning, whiskey with every meal, whiskey to open a deal, whiskey to close a deal. They're constantly drinking.
Look at the founding fathers. There's that legendary tab that they had. Did you ever hear about this?
What do you mean?
So the founding fathers, where most of their planning would take place, would be in pubs and taverns.
Sure.
During the Revolution, once it came into fruition, now I'm not sure about the timeline of this, whether it was right before we actually declared it or during or after, but it's around that time when you had the heavy hitters. There's a bar tab that was left intact from that time period.
From
And Brian,
1700s.
if you want to look this up real quick, I want you to read off the amount of bottles that those men drank that night. And mind you, these taverns did not fit hundreds of people.
No.
You know, they were fairly tiny.
Yeah.
So you can estimate like, all right, there's maybe like 30, 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they went through hundreds of bottles. Bottles, not like me and you splitting a bottle of whiskey. We'll split it in a night. They would have like 2 bottles each.
Yeah. Sure.
So Washington and his soldiers, this is the first thing that comes up, ran up a $17,253 tab before signing the Constitution.
In $1770.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was 2 days.
There should be a list of like the amount of bottles they drank. It's insane that like prohibition actually happened in a country that these guys like built.
But that being said, temperance and the temperance movement was really got going. Women wanted it more than anyone else because they saw
Their husbands were
what booze was doing to
drunks.
their husbands, and obviously led to things like domestic violence and and abandonment,
Adultery.
yeah, ruinous, debt, things like
Yeah.
that come with that.
Irresponsibility.
Yes, one of the more famous incidents was, of course, Carrie Nation. Are you guys familiar with her?
No.
So Carrie Nation was a woman whose husband had drunk himself to death. I think it was in like Tennessee, somewhere in the Midwest. And she decided to lash back out at alcohol by going to the local saloon and smashing it up with a hatchet.
So she just attacked his business owner.
Yes. Destroyed his bar. And when she was arrested, when, she's an older lady, they arrested her. She didn't stay in jail very long. They let her out again. She immediately went to the next saloon and smashed it up. And went on a rampage, essentially, going from saloon to saloon as wherever she could find one and destroying it. And she had got followers from this. Like other women would do the same thing. And this was a major, major thing for a while. The people that really brought prohibition around, finally in 1920, it's
To like mainstream.
yeah, it's the progressive movement that had started earlier in the century with people like Woodrow Wilson.
And it's a lot of like Christians too,
yes,
right?
it's the Anglo.
And the Utah, like the Mormons.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was about to say. It's the original founding American stock that does this. It's not the immigrants. The immigrants love drinking. It's Italians, Irish, Germans. Germans make beer. The Italians love their wine.
The Irish drink
The Irish
everything.
are drunks.
I'm Irish. I could say that.
But it's the founding stock that really imposes this new moral, moral crusade that they're essentially dictating. They want the government to dictate how people run their lives.
Yeah, they want Big Brother to come in
Exactly.
and boss everybody around. And this
And
is the way things need
This
to be.
is why, and this is now me theorizing, when Calvin Coolidge and the Harding administration in the 1920s come to power after this is all set in motion, it's this Republican small government people that won't enforce the laws. So that's why you have the lawlessness that reigns over the entire country with organized
Because
crime.
they're like, yeah,
They're
we
like,
want
you guys did this. We're small government. We're not going to enforce it. So now
Well, 'cause
people
there's
like
two-
Al Capone,
well-
people like Lucky Luciano now run the country.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's two separate things. There's the amendment, and then the enforcement of
Is
it
the
is the
Volstead
Volstead
Act.
Act. There's
Yeah.
two separate things.
Right. So it's the 18th Amendment that gets passed that makes prohibition the law of the land, as Eliot Ness will say.
Yep.
And then the Volstead Act, I think, is specifically prohibits the sale and distribution.
Yeah, and that's what you're used. Like if you violate it, that's what you're charged with.
Right. So that's prohibition. 1920 gets passed, and it will not be repealed until, I believe, 1933. Or is it 32?
33 or 34.
And that'll be the 21st Amendment that will repeal it. So let's get to the movie. We're actually looking at the end of Prohibition, or pretty close to it when the movie begins. But there's a bit of... The first scene is a little girl getting blown up in a convenience store.
Which is fake. That never happened.
Of course. It's portraying something called the Beer Wars. Do you know about the Beer Wars?
No.
So the Beer Wars were a time in Chicago when you had Capone and his South Side boys with Johnny Torrio fighting the Irish North Side gang with Deanie O'Banion. And they were...
He was a horrible stand-up comedian, O'Banion. He would always talk about Ovaltine.
That's
He would
O'Bania.
say, why is it not Roundtine?
I had to think for a second. I'm like, what is he talking about?
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
Go.
Been working out. I'm huge. So throughout the 20s, the beer wars raged, and they culminated with, everybody knows, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where Capone's men dressed up like police officers and gunned down some top North Side gang members.
In the movie, though, it's portrayed like this has already happened, but that explosion is supposed to kind of represent that.
Yeah, so the movie, I believe, starts in 1930. All this already happened.
They did use bombs, though. You said that didn't happen. It didn't kill like.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you can't even say that. They might have killed a little girl doing that because they were bombing places.
Oh,
constantly.
no doubt about it.
So I don't know where you got that information.
I looked
from.
it up, and a historian said that incident
Specific
had never
incident.
That specific incident, sure, but
there's tons
bombing
of tons of
places.
collateral damage.
They were bombing cars.
You know, you
nonstop.
have drive-bys going on,
Right.
You know, with Tommy guns. Which
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
the most accurate things in the world.
By no
So
means.
after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it's kind of seen by the public as so ridiculously over-the-top violent that finally
Something must be done.
something has to be done. And what they do is they make a task force to go after Capone. Because everybody knows Capone did it, but he was in Florida at the time when it went on, so he has an alibi. He didn't specifically do it, but his men did.
Yeah.
So they want to find a way to bring down Capone. Elliot Ness.
Which is that's such a funny thing in this movie in particular, is like, we don't have any famous crime lords today.
El Chapo.
El Chapo, though, is not in the middle of the American press and public doing interviews
Right.
about like how popular he is. He's in another country, you know, and like he's hiding half the time.
Right. But nobody is Capone. You know, at the same time, his contemporaries hate him for doing
But
this.
even guys like Lucky Luciano,
Nobody knew him.
Meyer
at the
Lansky,
they don't know them.
they don't know that they're gangsters at the time?
They're not in the spotlight. We find out about that stuff later, you know?
Okay, because in my
So
head...
other gangsters, they were.
Right.
In my head, everyone knows that these guys are gangsters at the time.
No, I mean,
what-
people didn't even know the commission existed. And by the commission, I mean the 5 families that got together and
Okay.
formed, you know, Cosa Nostra.
But that
Isn't-
didn't
then
happen.
that's
until
the
later
Gambino
on. Way later
crime
on,
family,
no?
right?
Not much later. It's like right after this. It's
thought
in the
that
30s.
was the-
It's
it
in
was
the
in the 30s. You
But,
sure?
But like even in the 70s, that's the Gambino crime family, right?
It's all 5 of them.
There's 5.
that's 5
families.
of them.
There's 5 families. They
5.
get together, and
There's the-
anything that goes on must be agreed upon by the 5
The
families.
Gambinos.
It's the story
The
of
Bananas.
a bunch of Italians
Genoveses.
who came together to commit some
Colombos,
organized crime.
and
There were car bombs and lots of violence.
And guys with scar faces.
but that lasted up until like the late 80s. Like their
as
power.
far as we know, it still exists.
Well,
you know.
I meant when they actually had a stranglehold on like actual power.
Well, it's new ways of enforcing the law that really diminishes their power. Things
RICO
like
and
the
stuff.
RICO Act. Yeah.
But there's no like if Tony Soprano was a real guy, let's say hypothetically, right?
he's at the tail end of everything.
Yeah,
and
but
that was what the show
But
was
I'm
about.
saying even like if Tony Soprano was a real person, it would be like if he was doing interviews with the news about how I'm a legitimate businessman,
Yeah.
you know? But everyone knows he's not.
Right.
And that's what Capone is. And it's so weird to me that this was allowed to happen.
Because the administration in Chicago is so corrupt, they're all on the take from
Yeah,
him. So
that's true.
no one is going to enforce the law.
Yeah.
Mayor Thomas Hale something, he famously is like one of the most corrupt politicians to ever hold office.
Really? In Chicago?
Yeah, the mayor. And all that's real. Like, this is after Capone was living in Cicero. He moved into a hotel in the middle of Chicago, which is where he is in the movie.
Thompson. William Hale Thompson.
Hale Thompson, yes.
Hale Thompson. That's what you had to say when you saw him.
So the movie starts, the girl blows up,
Yep.
and then it cuts to Capone, played by De Niro,
Yep.
getting a shave and being interviewed by the press.
And he's like, alcohol is the will of the people.
right.
The shot is so good, too.
It starts from above, from over the head.
I love that shot.
And-
real quick, can we
Yeah.
talk about Brian De Palma?
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. One of the best directors ever.
We did Scarface.
He did Scarface, which isn't a good movie, but like his camera movement and the way he controls a camera and the way he knows how to use a one shot effectively and build tension, he's one of the fucking best.
Yeah, this movie's great.
It's phenomenal.
I also want to say something real quick about the soundtrack. It's Ennio Morricone.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
I always hated it my whole life.
No.
Always hated it. Felt like it didn't fit the movie. It's too 80s sounding to me. And then I watched it this past time, and I was just loving it. I don't know what clicked in my
I
head.
had the opposite effect.
You hated it.
I hate it.
Oh, I loved it.
I love Morricone. This sounds like a 60s Batman movie.
The music is
It's
very much in your
It's
face.
bad.
I
Doesn't
think he's
fit.
There's no ignoring it.
I
never
think,
fits,
I
ever.
think he's referencing like the old Elliot Ness TV shows, like in 50s things like that.
Yeah.
If
I
he
think
is,
so
I wouldn't
too,
even
yes.
know.
I wouldn't
So
know
too.
it, but I feel like he's definitely trying to homage that.
Because that's what it seems like. It's like you said. It's forward. It's loud.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaotic at times when it shouldn't be. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's strange music.
But Brian De Palma is directing this. He's kicking ass.
Those shots.
His shots are fucking
Oh,
great.
those cut shots.
We'll talk about some things like, but the way he builds tension,
The split screen
incredible.
shots are fucking amazing.
Did you know that Brian De Palma is the one who came up with the scroll for Star Wars?
No, I didn't know that.
So Brian De Palma is part of the Film Brats, right?
Yeah.
Which is Scorsese. I don't know if it's Scorsese.
Yeah,
but
he's in it.
He is? Okay. It's Lucas, Spielberg, Brian De Palma, Scorsese. There might be another guy who he's whatever. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway, so
Mitch Hedberg.
yeah.
Why did I name a real person?
Yeah.
I just wanted to come up with a fake name, and the first thing that came to my mouth was Mitch
Comedian?
Hedberg. What the fuck is wrong with me?
He just had great one-liners all the time.
He is the king of one-liners.
So Lucas is screening the Star Wars for them, right? The first cut. And De Palma goes, "This makes no sense. It sucks. Give this to me." And he did the credits.
The crawl?
The crawl, yeah, that we all know.
Yeah.
And that was De Palma.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. But the first shot, De Niro gets nicked by the barber.
And my wife pointed this out when she was watching it with me. He's talking about how he's an innocent man and he's playing the victim of everything, but he has blood on his hands, you see? Because he gets nicked and he touches it, but the blood is literally on his hands.
Oh, that's good. I didn't catch that either.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But she would get mad at me if I didn't give her the credit right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, congrats to Mrs. G.
There's one thing that we got to bring back:
What's that?
long coats.
Long coats look great.
We got to bring back long
They look
coats.
great. The pea coat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like those beige detective coats.
Remember, I was wearing one for a while.
for a while. We need more. We need more.
It's a great look.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 40s fashion is just so good.
Yeah. That's
30s,
30s,
to
40s,
30s to 50s is like it's peak.
You get home from work, it's 90 degrees, you get out of your suit, you put
on
on your
another
Lee
suit.
Yes. You just sweat all day.
Yeah.
Your balls are just always wet.
That's living. And then we see, I think this is the first time we see Ness, right?
Yep.
In his house.
Yeah, we're introduced to Ness juxtaposed with De Niro at the barbershop.
And he's reading the paper
Yep.
about the explosion with the little girl. And that's kind of to develop a connection he has with finding and
Exactly.
putting components.
He's like,
together.
He has kids.
trouble.
Right, which is not real. That is completely inaccurate. He was just married when this was all going down. He had no kids yet, but the movie did it,
Make him a family man.
make him a family man.
Right.
Nice house. I said, nice house.
I love that. I think I say that anytime I
We
see
say it all the
someone's
time.
house for the first time.
Yeah.
Like when I brought you to my house for the first time, you
I think
definitely
I said it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to have a family. Make sure nothing happens to him.
Nitty is such like
Frank-
a hateable
Frank
character.
What a great actor, though.
Yeah, he's like a character
my
actor. I don't even know his
God.
name.
So they ask Elliot Ness, how he feels about this prohibition stuff, and he was like, "It's the law of the land."
Yes. I know many of you take a drink. What stops today? Whatever he says.
Prohibition is the law of the land, gentlemen.
Yes.
That right there gives me the other title for the movie,
Oh,
What's
what
that?
is it?
aka Hypocrite Narcs.
Ness didn't drink.
Ness did
He
not.
never.
drink.
He never has a
Doesn't matter,
drink. in the
Everyone else
movie.
did. Everyone else did and punished those who were also. So yeah, fuck every.
Well, it
police
just goes
officer
to
from
show
this
you
time.
that the law itself is
It's a horrible law.
yeah.
But they
Look, as
you
we
should
know-
not enforce horrible laws.
As we know, even in current society, prohibition doesn't work, and it's proven to be a failure.
It's the only amendment that I can think of that actually restricts freedoms, whereas all the other ones protect freedoms.
Yeah, that is actually true.
That being said,
I mean the income tax.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Yeah. There's not much protecting freedom about that. Give us your money, asshole.
Which I think Prohibition kind of had a hand in bringing about. You know, because a lot of government revenue prior to Prohibition came from taxing
I
alcohol.
actually wrote this down. I have a little note that government taxes and tariffs, they made, I'm just trying to make out my shit handwriting here, but 14% of taxes and revenue came from the sale of alcohol.
There you go.
14%.
So 14% of the government's budget
came from taxing the sale of
from
alcohol.
taxing the sale of alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah. And once that's done,
Hefty amount.
they need to fleece the people
Yeah.
directly.
Anyway, so Elliot Ness gets his boys together, the cops, and they are going to do a sting operation.
Yes.
And there's a reporter there taking a picture. And the reporter being there tells you right away that this is going to be a failure.
Right.
Because he knows.
Yeah, the word is out already. Someone
But
has squealed.
Ness doesn't know yet.
He's too green.
He's too green. But as an audience member, you're like, well, this reporter knows about it. Clearly
And
something's
surely,
up.
surely the mobsters know.
Yeah.
And this is true to life. Like Ness, at least in the early days when he was rating stuff, would inform the press. And then inevitably, the press
Yeah.
is going to tip off whoever they want.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there were a lot of failed stings like this.
So then he runs in and he breaks open a box with
It's full of umbrellas.
Canadian maple leaf, and it has like Chinese umbrellas in
Yeah.
it. And there's the
And hay.
and they take a picture of him with the umbrella.
Yes.
And he looks a fool.
He does look a fool. Stupid Costner.
And then he's very sad on the bridge.
And he walks past Sean Connery.
And he walks past
Who is-
Sean Connery.
Apparently, what great timing to have the most badass human being on earth walk
mo-
past you at that
the
exact
most
moment.
the most Scottish Irishman.
So
Who would claim to be that? Who is
Sean.
not?
so their conversation though is pure David Mamet.
David Mamet?
David Mamet wrote the script. But like a thing with Mamet, especially in he does that movie you love, Steve, with William H. Macy,
Fargo?
where it's the two
Boondock Saints?
no, it's the one with the girl where she accuses the professor of something.
Oh, yes.
How Stella Got a Groove Back?
No. I know.
Is it White Oleander? Ophelia?
Something like Ophelia or something
Mistress
like that.
Ophelia?
No, it's he plays a teacher.
William H.
and
Macy.
William H. Macy plays a teacher, and his student is accusing him of sexual harassment constantly and trying to like ruin his life.
Oh, no.
And he's just like, why are you doing this? And she's clearly a psychopath.
Right.
And she's just like, this is why you said this in class, and that was directed towards me. And he's like, what are you talking about? And it pushes him so far to the edge where he kicks the shit out of her.
Oleana.
Oleana.
But like even in '94, one thing he does, and you see it in this scene, is he'll have two characters.
This movie's 94.
No, in Oleana is '94.
Oh.
This is '87. But you'll see him have two characters have a conversation, but they're not understanding each
Yeah.
other at all, and it's so frustrating as an audience member that like they're just not comprehending and they're not on the same page at all as they're talking. He does it in Oleana a lot, but
You don't think that Connery and Costner understood each other in this?
It's good
scene?
writing.
on the bridge scene, they do, but they don't. It's like
good
they're
writing,
having
though.
two different conversations, and it's very like kind of frustrating that like they're not like
It's clear that
communicating
Connery
clearly.
is like the experienced police officer.
Right. He's a
And
beat
he
cop.
knows what's up, and he knows the ins and outs. Where, Elliot's not.
No, he's a treasury man.
He's a treasury guy. So Elliot is like, how'd you know this? How'd you do this? And Connery's like, no, I'm not having this conversation with you. Like, that's not my job. So, like,
But Costner is impressed by him. That he's able.
impressed
He
that-
sees.
so
He
much
knows.
that he needs him on his team just to learn from him.
Right.
But when you say like the writing where it's like they're having two conversations, but it's not on the same wavelength, I think that's good writing because
Oh, yeah.
they're communicating.
No, it is great
it's just
writing.
on different wavelengths.
it's David Mamet, like it's
That's
like a
his
signature
signature?
thing,
Yeah.
yeah. But you have like, I love the sequence so much when he's like, "You got a gun? Why you carrying a piece?"
Oh yeah.
And he just turns his back. You would turn your back
Back on
on an
an armed-
officer, on an armed man.
You're a treasury agent.
How do you know? You told me.
And it makes complete sense.
They give Connery in this movie throughout the entire movie.
He has like otherworldly.
He has the greatest lines in like
You're mucking with the G. You're gonna hang high in Haman.
But like they specifically gave him the coolest fucking lines.
Everybody knows where the booze is. It's just who wants to cross Cabot.
But they made him like the coolest motherfucker
He's
ever.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
like he's not that great in the movie, let's be real. Like he won the Oscar for this for best actor.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, this is how he got his Oscar. Let's be real, this isn't the greatest performance ever, but he got it for everything else. It's one of those lifetime achievement Oscars. Where like, you were James Bond, dude.
Yeah.
You've been like an action star for 30 years.
Yeah.
Here, you get an Oscar.
This is
now.
pre Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, I don't think he had done
I think that's
Last Crusade
I think
yet.
that's 89. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah,
89,
He
yep.
is such a badass in this. It's overwhelming how badass he is.
His career is just incredible because like it spans from like slick blockbusters to low sci-fi schlock
Yep.
to like cool movies like this.
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits. It's just so expansive. He's the fucking best.
Love Sean Connery. Who
He's
doesn't
the
love
man.
Sean?
Anytime he pops up in something, you're happy to see him.
Oh yeah,
Especially League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I mean,
The
Africa
Rock.
would not let him die.
he's Alan Quartermain. Africa won't let him die.
The Rock starring Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
So the mother is in the office trying to thank Elliot Ness.
We got to talk
Yes.
about the mother in the office.
Okay.
Okay.
We got to talk about the mother in the office because
The scene left an impression on you.
the scene it didn't leave an impression.
Steve was like, "Why is he not casting couching
But
her?
yeah,
How bad do you
yeah.
want me to help your
Right,
daughter?"
Right, that's what I was thinking. No,
You're a pervert.
this is like what 1932,
I think, it's,
33.
I think it's 30 in the movie.
30.
Yeah.
How long must it have taken this woman to get from her house to that police station? How long do you think?
Depends where she lives. She could live around the block for all
Could
we
live around
know.
the block, usually. Yeah, you could live around the block.
Could have took a bus.
Could have took a bus. If you're doing public transportation, right? It kind of takes a long time around
Where
this.
the fuck is he going
so
with
weird.
this?
I'm saying no. I have a point. If you're taking like public transportation to do something, it takes a long time today, right?
Yeah.
Like if I want to go to Manhattan, it takes like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
How long did public transportation take back then using like horse and buggy and shit?
Horses, buggy. They have trains.
They're in the middle of a metropolitan.
There's cars.
There are cars, but how many had them?
It's the 30s. People have cars.
Not that many.
They could take the bus.
In Chicago, they were riding horses on the border.
That was on the border. There's like cowboys out there. They were in like Montana.
Like I'm assuming people are still using horses in this area. Like
No.
legit.
Why are you thinking this?
Because when I looked at the cars, they're really fucking old, and I'm assuming like not
They're
everybody
30s.
has cars.
They're brand new cars. They're brand new 30s cars.
No, they're old style cars, so I'm assuming not everybody has them.
It's crazy.
I'm not crazy. No, my point was.
What's your point?
My point was asking about transportation around that time in Chicago. Was it actually hard to get around? Did they actually have public transportation?
Why are you mad about it?
I'm not mad.
There's
That's how I'm
taxis
talking.
and public transportation. It's not unreasonable for her to get there. It
I just
actually
feel
came
like-
from New York.
Like I feel
Maybe she just got to the train.
maybe yeah. But what if it took like 2 hours?
It
to
could have.
to just get in that office and say like 2 sentences.
She had a thing she wanted to say.
She had to say it.
Would you travel 2 hours to say two sentences?
If someone was trying to get revenge for my dead child, yeah.
Why not?
I mean, maybe I'd shoot him a text first, but you know, it's not unreasonable to travel and thank the person.
That was the weirdest avenue of all time.
I'm glad we went down it, though.
Yeah, I wanted to just know about public transportation in Chicago in that time. I wasn't sure about it. That's all.
Public transport, Steve. So
You're a train man. Tell me.
No, I'm not. I'm a wealthy heiress.
So then Elliot Ness goes to Sean Connery's house, and Sean Connery pulls out a sawn-off shotgun.
1632 Racine.
Yep. I like that you know the address. And he wants Connery to join him, and Connery's like, "I'd rather stay alive."
Connery wasn't married in this, right?
No. He's a single man.
He decorated that house himself.
Yeah.
He may have.
With the finest in 1930s like decor.
Wallpaper.
Yeah.
It's
He
a-
hides booze in his toaster, in his oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really nice like apartment, for the 30s.
It's like a corner house.
Yeah.
It's got like a nice rounded corner and
It
like
does.
a giant window. And
Yes.
it's like he's supposed to be this broke beat cop, but he has like a 4-bedroom like house.
Well, back in the day,
Everyone had that.
yeah. So then they go back to the office, and Oscar Wallace is there, the nerdy tax man.
Yes, who is based on real guy, who is actually probably the person most responsible for the capture of Capone, well, the prosecution of Capone, I should say. His name is
Jimmy Touchable.
Frank J.
Frank J is a fake name.
Frank J is his real name. And
Doesn't that sound like an alias?
yes, it does.
Frank J. Not even the last name.
By the way, we should say this. All of the Untouchables, with the exception of Elliot Ness, are fictional people.
No. Well, I looked it up. Jimmy Malone Connery is based on a Treasury agent named Michael Malone.
Uh-huh.
That is Ness talks about in his book.
Now, I know about Michael Malone.
Okay.
He is not really an untouchable. What he was a guy who infiltrated Capone's organization.
Yeah, he was an undercover guy.
I mean, other than the fact that they have the same last name, I don't think Connery really is that guy.
From what I saw, he was kind of based on him.
Okay.
They took liberties, you know?
And like working for the Treasury, that's basically just like being an FBI agent at this point.
I think this is a special unit of the Treasury.
Right.
Right. But it's almost like an FBI agent, it seems, because
Obviously, the avenue they go down to capture Capone is tax evasion. So I mean, it's all in the same world. Ness is really known for the real Ness, for these type of raids and stuff.
Yeah.
He's the flashy, exciting
He's the
stuff.
face of it.
But it's not that will put Capone behind
No.
bars. It's the
It's
paperwork. Yeah. So it's funny that he gets all the glory for it, but I guess he is the one that
He's
would
the
get
face,
the glory
you know.
for it.
People still associate you with that. It's like if Derek Jeter never got a hit in the World Series and the Yankees still won, and he was the captain, everyone would still be fucking, saying that he was a big part of the teams. Mm-hmm. No one remembers that. They just remember that you won.
Right. Anyway, Wallace's first scene, he's already talking about the tax
Right
evasion
away,
thing.
they build it right away. He's
Yes.
like, "Hey, maybe we could get him on tax returns."
Yeah. And Ness just kind of brushes him
Yeah,
off.
no,
like,
okay.
Nah, that's ridiculous. You charge a murderer with.
And then Sean Connery shows up, and
Yes.
they leave the office, and he gives the amazing speech.
Yes.
Which one of us is going to do it? About the Chicago way.
you sent one of his men to the morgue.
Is this when they're in the church?
Yes.
Yeah, they go to church.
What are you willing to do?
Yes. If he sent one of your men to the hospital, you sent one to the
What are
morgue.
you willing to do to
If he
get
has sex
Capone?
with one of your men, you have sex with two of his.
That's the Chicago way.
If he blows you, you spit it in his face.
No, in this
If he licks your asshole, make sure
You
you
pink
fart.
sock him.
He licks your asshole, you fart. Malone, why do you keep saying gay sex things? That's the Chicago way. Why do you think we call it a Chicago dog? You put mustard on his dick and you lick it off.
you use it as lube.
I do not approve of your methods.
But damn it, you get the job done, Malone.
The Canadian.
You're not from
They're not
Chicago.
from Chicago. They give a smirk to each other and smack each other's asses.
Yeah.
So he does the whole "you pull a gun" speech.
And then they go to the post office.
Well, he says, "God hates a coward," which is a great line. Then they go to the police academy.
Oh, no, they go across the street.
No, first they go to the police academy.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah, they
sure.
go. No, they go to the police academy first
If you're afraid of getting a rotten apple from the barrel, go to the tree.
because he goes. There goes the next chief of police because he's like
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Protect
like
and serve.
stuttering.
yeah.
And then they get Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia,
who's in a-
George Stone,
who they-
Giuseppe Pedri.
They build it early. He's a great shot.
Yes.
Like he's an amazing marksman.
Payoff. Yes.
Yep.
They
Set up
also
and
show,
payoff.
that the Italian people are kind of frowned upon in this time.
Yes.
So much so that he has to change his name.
Yeah.
Right.
People forget that.
What was it before you changed it, you dirty wop?
Yeah. It's brutal.
I said you're a lying member of a no-good race.
I say that line all the time.
Yes, you do.
It's such
To
a good
me.
line. It's such a good line.
now he proves that he's worthy, points a gun at him, and Sean Connery's like, I like him.
Irish pig.
I like
Connery
him.
got turned on.
I like him.
Because he points the gun. Oh, I like him.
This movie's awesome.
But they get Andy Garcia, and then Connery just has amazing lines. Every word he says.
Yeah,
is
everything he
gold.
says is just great.
Yeah. And then
They go to the post office.
then they go to the raid.
Right. They raid the post office.
It's
which
across
is-
the street.
It's across the street from the police station, and it's full of booze.
Everyone knows where the booze is.
Who wants to cross Capone?
They also had a really well-placed axe right in front of that door.
What's a fire escape?
Yeah. And you get the guy in there. What is this?
This isn't good.
Yeah.
Where's your warrant? Here's my warrant. And he just
How do you think he feels? Better or worse?
he just committed like 10 crimes. What is happening here?
So they have a big successful raid, and then the next scene is them celebrating.
And they take the picture
Right.
at the thing with the news reporter. He's like, this one's for us only. And then they show Costner at home with his wife and his
Yes.
family, and they immediately juxtapose it with the De Niro baseball bat scene.
Yes.
And he's walking around, and he gives a speech about baseball,
Yes. Ty Cobb and so on.
and he bashes this dude's fucking brains
Yes.
in.
Now that is actually based on a real event
Okay.
where Capone
Cap One,
found Cap One.
founder of the bank
Right.
later. Full name Capital, last name One.
He found out that two hitmen that worked for him were actually preparing to betray him and have him killed.
Really?
Yes. And he called a meeting, and at this meeting, he actually bludgeoned both of them to death with a baseball bat.
Oh, wow.
And that is what this scene is based on.
You know, I could understand getting one. The second guy.
Well, he had guys holding them.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. You just sitting there, you're like, oh, man, he got Frank. Good
Hope
thing
he doesn't
he's
get
not
me.
getting me. And then next thing you know, it's just
Frank.
And they do they go back to the scene with them in the family again?
yeah, they do. They
do.
cut.
Yeah, it's a great little cutaway.
They juxtapose the two of them
Yeah.
constantly like
And
that.
can we just all agree that kissing kids on the lips is weird? Because they do that.
Eskimo butterfly, Dad.
It's fucking creepy.
Tom Brady does it. It must be okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you get the scene in the police station where Slugworth comes and it's him.
He offers them an everlasting gobstop.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was Slugworth.
It's fucking Slugworth.
Holy shit. That guy's in another movie.
Slugworth comes and tries to bribe him.
Yeah.
The captain's
That's-
like, he works for Capone. No, he works for me.
Brian De Palma, when he's cast in the role, he's like, I need someone who's great at bribing people. I guess Slugworth did it in Willy Wonka. Yeah, let's get Slugworth back. What's he up to these days?
And then they have the speech about the Romans.
Yeah.
Yeah, like throwing fucking
A
politicians
bribery,
into
man.
the Tiber with weasels or something.
Yeah, he will not take the ride.
Yes, and that's where they get their name. Oh, you guys are untouchable. Is that the thing?
You're untouchable.
They got good press finally,
Yes.
right?
Freaky white suit.
Then we get one of our favorite scenes, Nice House.
Nice house. I said, nice house.
Now, this is bullshit because Capone actively told his people to avoid messing with the federal agents and the feds because he was like, it's only going to bring heat on us if we start fucking with like the feds like this. That was what I read.
That may be true to some extent. I'm almost positive, now I might be wrong too, that Ness had like a kill order on him from them. Like they were fucking with his family. Like, and they had to go into hiding.
Well, there's also different.
But not from Frank Nitti. Frank Nitti was like a bag man.
Yeah.
He's not like this awesome white suit guy. He's like a
Crazy
lowlife.
assassin.
He ended up actually, like, he doesn't get thrown off of a building in real life, like at the end of this.
Yeah.
And another one of our favorite lines that we quote all the time.
Did he sound like that?
Hey, you think about that while I beat the rat. I said your friend died screaming like a stuck Irish pig. He killed himself in real life.
Yep, he
Yeah.
killed himself
really.
in jail.
Yeah.
After Capone died, he took over the family. He was in jail, and then he killed himself.
Wow. Well, now Ness kind of runs into the house because he thinks his family,
Yeah.
something happened to him.
They're okay.
And you get a weird line.
What's the line?
The daughter. He goes, "Oh my God,
she's
what are you
doing
doing
her
up?"
ironing.
She goes, "I'm finishing up my ironing."
Why is there like a 6-year-old ironing?
It's child abuse.
That's got to be
They
dangerous,
kiss the
right?
kids on the lip and they let them iron their own shit.
That's
This
fun for
house
them
is
back
fucked
then.
up. This house is
That's
really
the only
bad.
entertainment there is for kids back then.
What
You
about
could do
you
some
listen to
ironing.
Amos and Andy on the radio? What happens next?
That is
Brian?
not Slugworth, sir.
It's not.
No.
It looked like
Looked
when
like
he walks
something.
It
in,
does
but
look
it's
like
not.
him, yeah. Anyway, so
I thought it was Slugworth.
yeah, you've been living a lie.
Yeah.
So the nice house scene happens, which
Yes.
is such a great scene because
Yeah.
you feel the threat immediately.
You
And
remember when they did this on South Park?
the nice house scene?
This whole sequence. I want that Elliot Ness dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. It was the Tooth Fairy episode.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
A million years ago. Like we're
I
talking 20-year-old episode
I do remember this.
where
now,
they
yeah.
have the Tooth Fairy Mafia.
Yes. They did the nice house thing though.
They did an Untouchables parody. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember them doing nice house.
I don't
That's
remember if they did
fucking
Nice
funny.
House, but they did the I want that.
Yeah, I remember
I want
that.
these South Park kids dead.
Yeah. Isn't it Luigi, right?
I don't remember. Yeah.
I think his name's Luigi. So then after this, he gets his family away. They go to Canada, and they meet Mounties, and they have their stakeout.
Yeah.
Turns-
None of
turns
this
into
happened.
a weird
None of this
country.
happened.
This is
But
bullshit.
It's so cool. This is my favorite scene.
It's a cowboy movie now.
Yeah. They're in the cabin.
Makes no sense.
Stomp your feet because you're cold.
Oh, yeah, that was a good line.
But this fight on the bridge is so awesome.
It's
And
such-
I don't know how the Mounties didn't get mowed
it's
down
such
by
great
machine gun
action.
fire.
Yeah.
Nobody got mowed down by machine gun fire at all. Actually.
The fact
It's
that
weird.
they're equipping them for this raid, and they didn't give them one car. They were like, horses are going to be more efficient.
Well, they're going to trap them on the bridge. That's the plan.
But you could
By
pull
horse.
up. You could pull up a car sideways, right, and block them on the bridge.
right.
and
Probably
there's nowhere
better.
to go.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna see the cars. Cars were real. This is kind of why I brought this up. Remember the big truck in the beginning when it burst through for the raid that has like the giant
The bulldozer.
the bulldozer. That's a pretty big truck. Like cars were pretty big back then. When you look at even the cars on the bridge itself were long. So
They're trucks.
They're trucks, but to hide like this is why I bring it up. To hide it would probably be pretty hard.
But I mean, you could have put it on the side of the house.
They also
you know?
don't do well over like gravel. And
I don't
shit.
have a problem with the horses. What's wrong with the horses?
I just think I think they could have given them a car and it's more efficient than like 4 horses. And
They're in rugged terrain.
And these mobsters don't think anything of this random cabin
Yeah.
just by the
With 4
bridge.
horses.
They've probably made this delivery 100 times.
I know. Look,
But they probably never saw horses near the cabin.
Yeah, but what are they? They're driving up. They're doing their thing.
This is coming from somebody who can't think like a criminal.
I can't think of a criminal.
Nah, you can't. You don't want somebody to see you. Like if I make the same trip 10 times, oh, there's a cabin. There's a cabin. There's never a horse there. Not a
You
single
don't
horse.
think after these guys do this same meetup 100 times?
You're still on your guard. Yeah. No matter what.
I don't know about that.
They have Tommy guns. Why they're not on their guard?
sloppy. Yeah, well, they're gonna. They have an army of dudes like
they have tons of guys.
that are ready to just do battle.
Right.
Which
So,
they do.
When you pull up, you see a shack with 4 horses that weren't there before. You gotta you're gonna question it. You're gonna at least say
Yeah.
like, what is this?
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is the way the Mounties bunch up and charge the bridge.
They
Yeah.
should have died.
They should have all been mowed down by machine gun fire.
Only
Yes.
Andy
It's a-
Garcia is shot, and he's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a classic World War I cavalry charge. You know, this is
Charge
fucking
the light brigade.
Gangsters to the left of them.
In fact, those Mounties were probably vets. Like,
What do you think of the scene where the Wallace like runs out of ammo? Wallace is blowing dudes away.
he's fucking dudes up with a
He
shotgun.
kills like everybody.
Yeah.
He's got like 4 confirmed kills in the
Yeah.
first 5
And the
minutes.
music is so glorious.
Yeah. And then he charges a guy and beats him with like
Yes.
the butt end of his
He's
rifle.
so badass.
And then, the reward is as the alcohol's leaking
Yes,
out, he takes a little
drink.
sip.
Yes. Nobody's looking.
Yeah, it's a little comedic moment.
Right.
Hypocrite fucking narc.
And then Ness chases the man babbling in Italian
Yeah.
into the cabin and throws a grenade at him.
Yeah, he just blows him
Yeah.
up.
I like when they first turn like the corner, their horses, like without warning, and you hear one of the gangsters go, "Fucking Mounties." I started laughing at it.
It was a nice diversion though, because he throws the grenade over, so
Yes.
he thinks he's on one side.
Yeah, and then he gets mad at him when the guy doesn't surrender, and he's like, "Didn't you hear me?"
Yeah. But they catch a guy who has a fantastic coat.
Yes, ridiculous fur coat.
He has a ledger,
He has the ledger. Yes.
They
the
go,
Heath
"What?"
Ledger.
They pick up the book. Go, what is this? And it just says ledger on the front. It's written out in English. Massive ledger. And they go, what is this?
That's funny. I didn't realize that.
And everything's
But you're right.
so poorly coded.
So-
Like the code name for Capone is like C-Pone.
Who's C-Pone?
Is this your code name for Capone? I ain't telling you nothing, Flatfoot.
Who's Polcapt? Who is that? Who's Paul Capt?
So then we get the amazing scene where Connery, So then we get the amazing scene where Connery, they're playing good cop, bad cop, and he grabs the dead body,
Yes.
he puts him up against the wall, and he blows his head
To
off.
That
scare
was
the guy.
cool.
All right, I'll tell you what you want to know.
That was
Yeah.
very cool.
That guy gets so scared. It's such a badass Connery moment.
Yeah.
The old shoot the already dead guy in the head trick.
The Mountie gets so mad.
How
I
many
do not
times?
approve of your methods.
How many times has Connery done
You're
that
not
exact
from
move
Chicago.
before?
Connery probably does that in real life.
Yeah. Well, with a woman, if
Yeah.
they're not listening to him.
He has to shoot a dead body to get her to comply.
If you've already told them once and they don't listen, they keep nagging you.
The famous
You got to shoot a dead body and, tell them what's up.
They always want to have the last word.
And then we find out that he missed an important part in his life for this raid.
What do you miss?
Oh, the birth of his
The
son.
birth of
Oh.
his son.
It'll
Sorry,
be
honey.
Edgar.
I had to go kill poor Italian immigrants. I couldn't be there.
I love that Steve is subtly supporting the mobs
mobsters?
throughout the whole movie. These poor Italian immigrants
They're trying to make a living.
It.
That's all. Federal
And the,
government won't let 'em.
and the Chicago Taxi Drivers Guild.
I'm a man of the people. What can I say? Vote for me.
So then, you're mucking with a G. That whole thing. He
That
shoots the
line.
body.
That line.
Then we get the "I want him dead" scene.
I think that happened already.
No, it's after
Oh, is
it's
it?
after the bust.
Right.
I want him dead. I want his family dead.
Yeah.
And then Wallace goes into an elevator with the person they captured at the border,
Yes.
And Nitty
Frank
kills them.
Nitty is in the dressed as a police officer.
dressed as a cop, and he kills them both.
Yes.
And writes "touchable in blood," which he had a lot of time. That elevator must
Oh,
be
yeah.
very slow.
Thick lines, too.
He had time to murder them and accurately put "touchable" in
He
blood.
took out a paintbrush and, dipped it.
And we
Like,
see
what's-
that the police chief knew about it.
Yup.
He let one of his guys get killed. Two of his guys, actually.
And he warns Connery.
Yeah.
to
He tells
leave
him to
town.
leave town. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Connery is not about
You're
it.
mucking with the Dagos.
So then Costner gets mad and he goes to the hotel to try to fight with Capone.
Come on, Capone.
You
You're
don't
not about talking a badge.
You don't got a thing. You don't got a thing.
You ain't got the bookkeeper.
What a bad move. How do you even attempt to do that?
You're coming to me in front of my son?
Bah, 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 bah.
Which, actually, we know Capone's son wouldn't have heard it. Because isn't his son deaf?
He's deaf, yes.
Yeah.
As we learned from Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
He's just
How do we feel about De Niro in this
That's
movie?
what I actually wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Costner's just not.
He does nothing but just yell. Right?
Yeah. He's
And I
so
guess if you're playing Al
exaggerated.
Capone, fine. But I never pick, when I picture Al Capone, it's not De Niro.
I picture the boardwalk guy. De Niro's too tall and handsome to be Capone.
Yes.
You need a
You
short,
need a short,
fat, ugly guy.
yes. And De Niro is too movie star.
Yes.
But that's,
He's such a great actor that you
Yeah.
love watching him.
yeah, because it's just De Niro yelling. And who doesn't like De Niro yelling?
Exactly.
You know?
Hey, yo, he's screaming at them and shit. He's very exaggerated in this,
Yes.
though.
This may be his most over the top other than like Cape Fear.
He's like a cartoon,
Yeah. He is like a cartoon. That's a great way to put it.
but I love it.
Yeah, it's
The
fun.
whole movie is cartoonish, though.
You're right.
So
Well, how do
it
you feel
fits.
about Costner in this?
Weak?
It's not his best role, but it's fine.
They needed.
I love
someone else.
Costner.
They needed. Someone
You
else.
know, me and you were big
Yeah.
Costner fans.
Anything he does, I think, is great.
He's not stoic enough in this, though. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's still young. This is like his breakout, right?
No, he had stuff in the 80s.
He's just not like an intimidating force. You
Well,
know, when
neither is Ness.
Costner?
Yeah, when he's a Western guy.
When he goes to like speak to Capone, when he walks the building,
Mm-hmm.
well, you want to have it right here? That is the most unintimidating man, like ever. He's just like he's not a threat.
Yeah, I guess. But he does blow guys away in this movie, left and right.
He also blows them because that's the Chicago,
Chicago way.
Chicago way.
Right. So then the movie kind of, we're getting towards the end now.
Connery goes, stole the DA, right?
Yeah.
Because the DA doesn't want to prosecute anymore because they don't have a witness. And Connery goes to the
police chief.
Police chief, and they have a fight.
A bare fist brawl.
An
And it's
Irish
so
hug.
good.
It's
They're
an
fighting
Irish
in the
hug,
ro-
really. It's just
Yeah.
an Irish hug. That's all.
The hospital or the
Or
morgue?
the fucking morgue.
He loves that line.
It's a great delivery.
He liked it so much, he had to do it again.
Isn't it great that Sean Connery steals the movie from De Niro?
Oh, yeah.
Completely.
Steals
It's his movie.
Yeah.
All you do is you just want to watch Connery beat people up with
Yeah.
good lines.
And just yell.
Yeah.
Everybody's screaming through the whole movie.
Is this a guy's movie?
Women like this.
But is this like the ultimate, like just a pure dude movie?
I don't know what you mean by that, though.
No, I know what he means.
Like it just appeals to guy
it
sensibilities.
is, but I think women like this too.
Well, I'll tell you the thing that I looked up at the box office of this. Over 50% of the audience to see it opening day were women.
Because of Kevin Costner.
Because
He's
of
a
Kevin
dream.
Costner, because he's a dreamboat. You know, and he's a young heartthrob at the
Right.
time. So I
I wish I could think of what he was in before. this.
Silverado was his big break. I
Okay.
looked it up. That was his break.
I don't know that movie.
I was really good. I watched it for the first time a couple months ago. You would love it.
That's Costner. I love Costner.
Yeah.
Robin Hood coming up. We're gonna do that.
This myth that's not real. Yeah, we're gonna do King Arthur too. We're just doing bullshit now. Okay,
We haven't touched the medieval period yet, and I think we need to go there.
it's gonna happen, but I don't think we could do Robin Hood. So they have a great fight, Connery and this dude. Connery whoops his ass. Capone is watching Pagliacci.
Yes.
He's
Now,
sitting
hold
next to
on.
Crazy
Hold
Joe
on.
Davola.
Whoa, hold on. You said that he beats his ass.
Well, they have a fight.
The
Connery
fight, right?
wins.
Did he win though? I feel like it was almost
Yeah,
like
because he gets the information about the bookkeeper.
Exactly.
That
He
he's going to be on the
wins.
train.
Okay, all right.
It's a good fight, but Connery
Yeah.
wins in the
Yeah.
end. You know.
What are you prepared to do?
So then, you know, Capone's watching Pagliacci.
He's crying at it.
He's crying, yeah.
He's so moved.
fuck?
It's a beautiful, beautiful play. Beautiful opera.
Have you ever listened to it?
No.
You have though. Like
I know the famous part.
Yeah, the sad clown. It's the sad clown.
But Doc, I am Pagliacci. Everybody laugh. You all know what I'm talking about?
That's the Watchman.
All right, I'll tell you. All right.
I
Ready?
got it right though.
I know you did. Steve's looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I've seen The Watchmen. It's just all right.
So, you know, I'm depressed and I go to the doctor and I say, Doc, you know, I'm very upset. What do you recommend? And the doctor says, oh, why don't you go into town and see the clown Pagliacci tonight? He'll make you feel better. And then the man starts crying and goes, but Doc, I am Pagliacci. And I don't know why I had to turn to Rorschach, but I did.
Here's what I see. That joke, is that supposed to be funny? Where's the joke?
Because the doctor tells him to go see Pagliacci
But he
to make
is
him feel
Pagliacci.
better.
Right.
But
Yeah,
he is
go see the
Pagliacci.
clown, but he's the clown.
Yeah.
It's not
so
funny.
there's no one for him to see.
There's no humor.
No.
It stinks.
Yeah, you misread my disgusting look for confusion.
So then we get the most heartbreaking scene of the movie,
Yes.
which is Sean Connery in his house, and the camera is just watching him through the window.
But we get probably one of the best lines in the movie. Everybody. Just like a wop, bring a knife to a gunfight.
And this is
And
the
then he's
scene
mowed
where
down
Yeah.
with guns.
They break his character a little bit, which I disliked. I feel like Connery's character would have shot him in the hallway. He had no reason to just try to chase him out and be like, "Get out of here, you murderer!" He has a shotgun on a guy that tried to kill him with a knife.
He has a very nice house.
He doesn't want to get his house covered in gore.
Yeah.
Sure, but
It'll
he's
take him
also-
forever to get the blood stain.
So it's a beat cop that just thinks like you work alone with hit guys. Nah,
Look, it is.
he should have killed him.
I was watching it too. I was like, it's ridiculous that Connor is
Yeah.
just blow this dude away.
Yeah,
He didn't castle doctrine him.
Yeah. Like the guy's in his house, like
Yeah.
trying to
with
kill
a
him.
knife.
Yeah.
Like he's ready to kill him. Like
Right.
he would have shot him. You know.
Yeah.
you know.
Like I guess maybe Connery thought that this guy's so far beneath him, coming at him with a gun, I'll just chase him away. But
What are you gonna do?
yeah,
Sure.
they needed Connery to die.
They needed the movie to progress.
You need the most badass last words ever said by a human being.
What are you prepared to do?
He screams it. Yeah. It's his last words. What's better, that or the last words from the witch burnings?
Well, we didn't do
More weight.
Oh, that
More weight.
the Crucible.
Yeah.
More weight is fucking awesome.
Which one's
This is
more
better.
Which one's better? I mean, more weight's true. It's real. But
I like more weight.
You like more weight
He's like,
better?
fuck you.
More weight.
Kill me.
Yeah. But Sean Connery dying, like, this is what I'm prepared to do. What are you prepared to do is really badass.
Yeah, it is.
So the death crawl is juxtaposed with Capone making a champagne toast as Connery's crawling with blood to get to
Yes.
papers. They find the body of Connery, and
Well, he's still alive when they get
he's still alive, but he's about to die.
right. And they find out they have to go after the bookkeeper.
Yeah, they have to go after the bookkeeper, who's gonna get on a train and get away.
Now, we need to talk about the Battleship Potemkin.
Okay, it's time for the Battleship Potemkin.
Go ahead, bro.
Have you ever seen the Battleship Potemkin?
No, have you?
I have never seen it, but I've seen this scene. They make you watch it in film school. Have you ever seen this scene?
No.
Basically, there's a scene in the Battleship Potemkin,
Which is what?
which is a stroller falling down a
No,
bunch.
no. What is the Battleship? What is the movie?
But Battleship Potemkin is a Russian silent film, I believe, from 1928
Yes.
about the Battleship Potemkin.
Yes. And it's the Odessa Steppe sequence.
Yeah.
Which is part
It's
of the
famous,
Russian Revolution.
and it's this woman with her carriage, and the carriage is falling down the steps, very much like in the Untouchables. It's a direct reference.
Yes.
We should do Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, now we have to.
Yeah. But this shot is a clear homage.
Right.
And it proves why De Palma's a master, because he's reusing iconic imagery from a movie that would probably be forgotten if not for this.
Isn't it? Well, I mean,
It's famous.
I know it because of this movie and
Yes.
everybody talks about it.
Yes.
Like, this is a legendary scene.
Yeah. It's a
But
fucking cool shootout, too.
I'm sure film people would know Battleship Potemkin without this movie.
Yeah, I wonder how, like, I would want to watch it far less than if, it wasn't in this.
Right. But we get the scene at the train station where they confront like 5 gangsters. Well, what's left of the Untouchables is just 2 guys now.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Ness and
Andy
Stone.
Garcia and Stone.
And they arrest the bookkeeper.
And they have a cool shootout.
Yes.
Bloody.
They save the baby.
Yep.
So
There's some Navy guys.
they kill like 4 sailors.
Yeah,
There's
some
just sailors getting shot
Yeah.
and flying
Well, they're in the
across
middle. They're
stream.
trying to get to the baby.
Right.
They're in
And
the crossfire.
But right before everything goes down, there's like this agonizing scene where Ness is watching this woman pull the baby carriage up the stairs, and you just want him to go help her.
Yeah.
And he can't because he's waiting for the.
I
And then he does
I had
and
the exact
makes everything
opposite
worse.
reaction. I'm like, don't go help her. Don't go help her. You're gonna fuck up this whole thing. What are you doing?
But you don't want the
What's
woman
more important?
and the baby to.
What's more important?
You don't want them in the
You're a heartless man.
crossfire.
No. Like if you're a normie, there's 4 or 5 sailors that could have helped her.
Yeah, I don't know why the
Well,
sailors went
everybody
over.
that left the train at first, they all ignore her.
Yeah.
Nobody decides to help her. They all just abandon
Don't
her.
get me wrong. It's very nice of him, but like, you're risking. What are you willing to do? He's willing to fuck up the entire situation.
Well,
to help her.
I want to talk a bit about why, like, I looked into the backstory of why the woman is alone with the baby.
There's a
There's
backstory.
Really? Yeah.
I thought it was just like, oh look,
Her husband was actually one of the dudes at the Canadian border that Costner killed in cold blood. And now she's a poor widow, no husband, and she just has to bring this baby up alone.
He threw a grenade at him.
Yeah.
Brian's slowly getting on my side.
This woman, though, like,
This
what?
racist cop.
Yeah, just took her husband.
Above the law, murders whoever he wants.
As long as their name ends in a vowel.
I gotta say, that kid enjoyed that wild ride, though. His bullets are flying, people are dying left and right. They catch him at the bottom, and he's just laughing.
Well, he was caught by two
Great time.
dreamboats. I mean,
That's
Andy
true.
Garcia
That
and
is true.
Costner.
They really
They
were.
could catch me if I'm falling down the stairs anytime. Rawr.
That scene when he's like, you got him? I got him.
Yeah.
And he shoots, and I'll never
He
forget
shoots
this.
him right in the mouth.
Shoots him in the mouth, and his mouth closes.
Me and a bookkeeper are walking out of here.
When he falls, if you look at the blood splatter on the back of
Yeah.
the wall, that's very much realistic. That's not even from me.
From all
That's
the gunshots.
blood splatter analysis,
blasted
My
Steve.
cousin
through
was
people.
a cop my cousin was a
Steve,
cop.
actually, you
in
may not know, but
Manhattan.
for years,
He's been
he
an
worked as a
assassin.
blood spatter analysis for Miami Metro PD.
My cousin,
He's actually Dexter.
I'm Dexter.
He's the Bay Harbor Butcher.
My cousin was a police officer in Manhattan, and when we watched it with him, the first time I saw the movie, he goes, "That's what it looks like." And I asked him why, and he goes, "Look," like he'll pause it, and you could see pieces of hair on it
On the wall?
on the wall, and then he goes, "That's what happens."
Oh.
So fuck both of you.
I like it better that you were Dexter.
I do like that idea better. Yes.
So they get the bookkeeper on the stand, and Costner discovers that Nitty has a gun, and he takes him out of the
I want to talk
courtroom.
about the court case for a second.
Okay.
Real life.
Real life.
The real life. one.
Yeah. They automatically assumed that the jury had been bribed,
Yeah,
right?
just like in the movie.
Just like in the movie. But in the movie, the judge is also bribed.
Well, you
And
don't
it's not
know
until
it.
he's confronted and being told that he's on the take that
Well,
he changes
Costner
the thing.
assumes it. You know?
What happened in real life was the jury had been bribed, but before the trial even started, they switched the jury.
Yep.
The way it happens in the movie makes no fucking sense because the whole case is already done, and then they just change the juries. You'd have to redo the whole case. You know,
It'd be a mistrial.
right. But so there's that. Also, there was a guy at this case that was taken out that had to leave because he was carrying a gun.
Oh.
It wasn't Frank Nitti. It was
Okay.
another guy.
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
You can't exercise your Second Amendment. I know.
And his the permit they take off him is signed by
The mayor.
The mayor, yeah.
Did that happen in real life? The permit?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
But this is how he finds him. He picks up his matches that he drops, right?
Well, yeah, he picks up his. Well, no, they search his pockets and he picks up the matches and he goes to light a cigarette and he sees the address, which is
1634 Racine.
I had a friend that used to live there, and he pulls out his pistol.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. Well, no. First, he immediately kills that cop.
He shoots him.
he
Yeah.
doesn't immediately kill the cop.
I don't think the cop died. I think he just shoots him.
Okay.
He doesn't immediately kill the cop. The cop is about to reach for his gun, and Nessa's like, "Don't do that. Let him
Let him
go."
go. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like agreeing. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave now." And then
The
the cop
cop
pulls his gun and
Yeah.
just blasts him.
You're right. The cop
Yeah.
doesn't listen to Costner.
Yeah.
We got
Costner
the roof-
chases
the
him,
rooftop scene.
gets him to the roof, and Costner, pretends to fall off the roof.
Yes.
And he shoots him in the head, but it hits
His
his
hat.
hat.
Yeah.
That was an awesome fucking scene.
This movie's so
That was
good.
awesome.
Yeah. And he chases him around, and they get to the end, and he's getting ready to bring Nitty into justice. Nitty surrenders, and Nitty says, "Your friend."
Your friend died squealing like a stuck Irish pig.
What'd
Now
you say?
What'd you say?
Now you think about that while I beat the rap.
And then Costner runs him off the roof and says, "Did he somebody dead?" As Nitty plummets to his death.
And then he to add insult to injury when he gets to the bottom. He goes, "Where's Stone?" Asks him, "Where's Nitti?" He goes, "He's in the car."
See,
This scene is there because
great.
if Costner doesn't have a big win like this at the end, it's not satisfying enough.
Right. You need vengeance to be in that.
Exactly. Especially after Connery.
Because Nitty's the guy who killed the two guys. He killed Connery and he killed Wallace.
Yeah.
So he had to go.
You need it in the movie.
We need a victory.
he
Yeah.
should have made him suffer more.
It's not good enough that De Niro's screaming like an idiot at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
You know about a lot of talking of bad. Shh.
people hate that.
that he was
Why?
screaming at.
That he was angry in court. Like Ebert gave it a bad review for that reason. He's like, he becomes, blah, blah, blah at the end. Like he's screaming in court. It ruins the character. It shows that he's an animal. And blah,
He
blah,
is an
He
animal.
was screaming throughout the whole movie.
He's fucking Al Capone.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Ebert's weird sometimes.
Bludgeoned two people to death with a bat.
So he gets thrown off the roof, and then doesn't he say, "Here endeth the lesson"?
Yes.
even delivering a cool line like that, he's so.
That isn't a cool
he's
line.
So
That's a
weak.
bad line.
He's so.
You don't
weak.
like that?
No.
I like it as a reference.
It's a
to
callback
Malone.
to Connery. But
Yeah.
But even when he's saying the thing before he says that, he's just like, oh, you
Never stop, Capone. Never stop
Capone.
fighting until the fight is done.
That doesn't make sense. I don't get why he says that to Capone.
I don't know what that means.
Capone said that to the.
What's that?
The
What do you
press.
say?
Wait, what?
Capone said that to the press.
Never stop fighting?
He goes, just like two prize fighters. There's only one left standing. You never stop fighting. He said it to the press because he said he was going to take out the Untouchables.
How did I never notice that?
I didn't get it either. I was like, this makes no sense that Costner's.
Which is
says
why,
that.
like, it's supposed to be a badass line, but delivered from Costner is just like weak.
The guilty plea is real, though. He did end up pleading guilty.
He had to.
Yeah, and he got 11 years, which really doesn't seem like a lot of time.
But he ended up dying in jail.
He died in prison.
He got
yep.
syphilis. And there's a movie with like Tom Hardy. That
Yeah,
came out
I want to
recently.
watch it. And supposedly it's just like him with dementia shitting himself for like 2 hours, and like it's like the purpose of the movie is just to make like viewers uncomfortable. And I
gotta
really
see
want to
this.
watch it.
I
Yeah,
gotta see
I've
this.
heard it's really weird. Like he's like Tom Hardy actually shit his pants for it. I've heard.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna do it on here at some point. But
Gotta be careful. We might get too arrested.
yeah. So then Capone gets 11 years, and then Costner's packing up, and he gives like the St. Jude medallion. Is
Good
St.
stuff.
Jude really the patron saint of cops?
Policeman.
I thought he was the patron saint
And
of
lost
kids
causes.
with cancer.
That's the hospital. I don't know.
I don't think there's.
I don't think there's a patron saint of
saint
kids with cancer.
Yeah.
But wait, why would they want lost causes? That's not a good saint to have, kids with cancer.
They're sick.
But you don't want a lost cause. You want like who's the patron
He's
saint
taking
that like
care of you.
but you're a lost cause. That means you're still gonna die. Wouldn't you want like the patron saint of like
The long shot.
you want like the patron saint of like healing, you know? Saint Anthony, right? That's the one who finds your car keys. Right? Am I wrong?
This the patron saint of
lost car
of
keys.
Lost car keys. I need my car keys. I gotta take out my Saint Anthony medallion. It's Anthony's face on a quarter.
He appears. He appears and he goes, "They're in the couch cushions."
He doesn't appear. He rings your bell. You open the door.
You rang?
You're right, yeah.
This is the third time this week.
He walks in. He looks left. He looks right. On the table. Walks out. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say bye.
No, wait. Am I wrong though? Isn't that like what Saint Anthony is for? He finds your objects.
I don't know. to be
Saint
honest.
Anthony, I believe, is like, yeah, you pray to him when something's lost.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like,
St. Jude, I don't think I don't. You have a computer in front of you. You could look this up.
it's funner to talk about.
It is, but yeah, St. Jude. I don't even know if it's lost cause. I don't even know if he's.
They say it in the movie.
Yeah.
Patron saint of lost causes and
police-
cops.
and policemen.
I'm policeman.
So then they ask Kevin Costner, "What are you going to do now that they're appealing prohibition?" And he says, "Have a drink."
Fuck him.
And then the glorious music.
I think I'll have a drink. Oh,
I
Ugh.
love that area of Chicago that they're in.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've
Like
been there.
downtown.
You have.
Yeah, I went to Chicago once. I loved it, by the way.
Do anything in the traditional Chicago sense?
I had a shootout on the steps. I bashed a guy's brains in. I put mustard
put
on
some
a
money
dick
on the
and
cubbies.
sucked it. Yeah. The Chicago way. No, Chicago I thought was a really cool city though. I really
Did you
dug
go to that
Chicago.
stupid fucking hot dog place where they like make fun of you?
The Wiener Circle.
You did go there.
I didn't go there, no. I went to Portillo's.
They make fun of you.
Yeah, they like insult
They
you.
had a
all-
show on reality TV.
Did they?
Yeah, called The Wiener Circle. And it's like somewhere in Chicago, and you go there. It's a regular stand during the day, and at night it just becomes rowdy debauchery where like the people running the stand are like, "Show us your dick, we'll give you a hot dog," and like they do like wacky shit and they insult you, and like you're supposed to go like "fuck you, bitch," and like you curse at them and they curse at you back, and you buy a hot dog, and like it's mostly black women that run it, and people say racial slurs to them.
Oh, no.
And they say it back. It's like a really weird place.
I gotta
Like,
go back. I gotta go
would-
here.
I would
This
feel
sounds
so
awesome.
uncomfortable.
This sounds great.
But yeah, that's the Wiener Circle. I didn't go there, but like I love the architecture of the city. It's a cool looking city.
Sure, yeah. It's the second city.
Yeah.
It's the windy
I've
city.
never been there. I have my oldest family record is from Chicago though, so take a guess what they used to do.
They did it the
Guess
Chicago
what
way.
Guess what date that ferry is marked with my name? 1920. Fuck.
Capone served 7 years. He died of a stroke in 1947.
They said he died of syphilis.
He has
He had
complications.
Yeah, he had a whole
Oh, okay,
bunch of
okay.
shit. In the late 30s, 2/5 of Americans wanted prohibition back.
Really?
Yeah, in the late 30s.
2/5.
That's a lot.
That's a big number.
Yeah, that's a pretty big percentage too.
Those that were making money off it.
So I wanted to ask you guys this today. How would you feel if prohibition was passed again right now? How would you personally feel? Like, could you exist in society? It wouldn't affect me at all.
I don't even know how you answer this question.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel personally?
From what direction? Like
It's a failed
enjoyment
experiment.
or
It's a massive civilizational and social experiment that was an obvious failure, and so much so that it was actually repealed. You know, for the one time America actually fixed its problems. You know,
I am personally for prohibition.
you love prohibition.
I want it back.
You want just moral grandstanding and government intervention in the everyday lives of.
Well,
aren't you a libertarian?
it's complicated because I don't like drugs, alcohol, booze, none of it. I also don't think the government should have a hand, but if it was repealed tomorrow, I'd be like, oh well, it doesn't affect me. I would just like,
I'd open a speak.
Yeah.
Oh,
me too.
yeah, you never
Oh, yeah. We'd start a new family altogether. The big.
Would you do it the Chicago way though?
How do you do it any other way?
The 6 families start.
Yeah. This one with more gay sex.
All gay sex.
Yes.
The Chicago way.
It's called
A baby-
the name of the place is the Chicago
Yeah.
way.
A baby hasn't been born in Chicago in 40 years because it's all just gay sex. All right. What are your final thoughts on the episodes? What do you rate it, gentlemen?
All right. I'm going to say 8 out of 10. I enjoy it. I love it. I cannot give it a perfect score because it's just a little too cheesy and jokey.
It's
at
so
times.
inaccurate it can't be higher than like a 7.5. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I do love the movie.
Yeah, I enjoy
It's
it.
fun as hell to watch.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Perfect score.
No.
Yo, I fucking loved it. I haven't seen it in a while. Fucking, I loved every single second I was watching this. Like, sometimes some of these movies, it's like a bit of a chore, you know? I loved every second of it. Every line of dialogue, every
great.
performance, the violence. It's so fucking good. It's so satisfying in every way. It does everything you want it to do. I fucking love it.
I love that you love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm so happy we watched this.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Perfect score for me.
Thank you for the fan for recommending.
Who was
this.
it? Can we give him a shout out?
I don't remember who said it in what thread.
Well, you know who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he brought it up. Brian, that is. I'm pointing to Brian. Brian brought it up, and I'm like, yeah, that'll be my pick. I'm in. Yeah, this is a good. I like the gangster stuff. So
Who doesn't?
Yep. So that does it for this episode, right?
yeah, that's it.
Bye.
Want to thank.
Thank you for listening.
So we just recorded the Walt episode like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And he told me to stop thanking them.
Yeah, he said
Are you gonna
stop.
stop?
So stop.
Shorten it.
Short.
All right.
Short and sweet. Keep it simple.
I want
stupid.
to thank Walt and tell him Steve Dave for letting us record in the studio.
That's
Good.
it. That's
Done.
it.
That's it.
You're done. Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Follow me on social media at Brian Rupert on Twitter. Follow the show, Reviewing History, Our View History Pod on twitter.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Send an email, reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com. Follow the show on Letterboxd. Follow me on Letterboxd. You could see all of our notes. That's going to do it for this episode, but we have one little other bit of business. We need to talk about the past 2 sketches I have in my notes that we missed. So let's start with the last episode. Steve, take a look at that and tell me what this is.
So, for those of you who didn't listen, we did Invincible the last show. Now, Invincible is a sports movie about football, Philadelphia Eagles. Brian's
What is that? Can you tell?
Brian's drawing. Wow. It looks like an unborn fetus in a stomach that is laying on a crate.
The Chicago way.
That's invincible.
You can't make it out?
Who could?
Ask Anthony. Maybe he can.
All right, I'll take a peek. What do we got?
His face looks
You know,
like...
Was my description accurate?
I'm going to be honest with you. Every time we do this,
Yeah.
I play it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I'll make it more ridiculous than it actually is. I have no fucking idea what this is. I don't know what this is.
Unborn
It's
fetus
a-
in a stomach on a crate.
It's a football helmet with the Eagles
Oh
logo
my
on it.
God.
Do you see it now?
I see it now that you said it, yes. Wow.
Holy shit.
Is that one of the worst ones?
That's the worst one you ever did. I have no fucking clue what that was.
I was pretty accurate, I feel, in my description.
All right. And
Let's
what's-
do Untouchables.
this one I think you'll
This is easy. Those are definitely steps. This is the carriage scene.
Yeah.
But the carriage itself looks like a dessert. Or a cup of coffee being thrown down steps.
Let me see.
I thought this one's pretty good.
Okay. I mean, it's,
You know what it is.
it's clearly stairs.
but you got to focus on that carriage.
It looks the
It looks like
The
coffee.
woman-
I
at
guess
the
it's
top?
the woman at the top.
Yeah.
She looks like she's like performing an opera.
Yeah.
Well, she's
Like,
screaming.
yeah.
She's
But-
screaming, my baby.
Uh-huh.
That looks like,
That's not a baby carriage. I don't know what that is. It's some sort of
it looks like
disaster.
It looks like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, it does
looks
look
like a mug.
It looks like
Yeah.
it's like a nice cup of Joe.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
That's the Chicago way.
That's the Chicago way.
I am the P-Man!